السلام عليكم. لا تنسوا الإعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.
No, I mean I can't deny it, but either like he didn't come to me and tell me, hey, I exist. So then I don't believe anyone until I don't see it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you only believe what you see?
Or what I feel, what I.
Do you believe you have consciousness?
That I have consciousness.
Yeah. You haven't seen your consciousness, right? But you believe it.
So I was asking you as well.
Yeah.
I mean consciousness about me.
Yeah, your consciousness. Do you believe you possess or have or acknowledge that you have consciousness?
But actually, like we can't define exactly what is consciousness, but
No, we can.
What we think
We
about
can actually. Roughly we can. So if you're aware of your environment, you're aware of yourself, of your existence and your environment, then you know you're conscious. Yeah?
Okay, I can say yeah.
Okay.
I believe
Do you see your consciousness?
No, but I can feel it.
There you go. So you have faith in your consciousness.
No, I'm feeling it. Like I feel I believe it.
No, wait. You feel it means you're using your consciousness and your sense. So your senses is part of your consciousness, by the way. You see, it's an extension of your consciousness.
So then it exists.
But you can't see it.
Yeah, but if everything goes through my consciousness, like if they are linked, so it means that one thing can't exist without the other one.
No, you can feel your sense through your senses, yes. But what I'm saying is, what makes you understand that you feel or acknowledge that you feel is your consciousness.
This thing that we define as consciousness, because we don't have to deny that we created this world out of something we don't know anything about it.
We're not saying we created this or created that. Because I'm going by your principle, because your principle is that if you don't see God, you won't believe it. But in the case of your consciousness, you don't see it, but you still believe it. So you are failing your principle.
No, because I think that we say that conscious is when someone is aware of himself and
yes.
So I believe in this because I feel it. Like I believe I am myself. I believe I'm seeing all of you guys, and I believe I'm here under these trees, and you know.
Have you noticed that you said I believe? This is faith. You believe by faith.
Yeah, but there's different kinds of faith.
Yes, but in this way, what you're saying is you believe in something you do not even see.
It's not that I believe actually. It's like I'm sure about.
So you have proof for consciousness? Empirical proof?
So I'm sure that.
What's the empirical proof for consciousness?
What's the proof for consciousness?
Empirical proof.
The empirical proof.
Yeah,
so
empirical
what kind
proof.
Of empirical proof
do you know what's empirical?
In which way?
In any way. Do you know what empirical mean? When the scientists use the term empirical, do you know what it means?
What does it mean?
You tell me.
No, you tell me.
So you don't know?
No, what do you think it is?
I think something that is observable, that is testable, that's verifiable, that's empirical.
Okay,
in the
so
simplest
God is
form.
not empirical.
No, but I'm asking about your consciousness, not about...
It's not empirical.
How long? I'm asking about your consciousness. Do you have empirical evidence of your consciousness?
You have empirical evidence of God.
But I'm asking about your consciousness. Why are you going to God?
None.
Why are you going to God? That is what I'm asking. I'm asking about your
Because
consciousness.
you believe in God,
Okay.
she believes in consciousness.
I'm asking you, do you have empirical evidence for your consciousness?
For my consciousness?
Yes.
No.
Thank you very much.
I think there is
Good.
a
Do you have empirical evidence for your consciousness?
I think I have empirical evidence of everything I see, everything I touch, everything I feel. If you want to call that consciousness, then
No, hold on. What you have just done there, you know your consciousness, it enables you for all this thing. You know the questions.
then if you are calling all of these what I'm
No,
saying.
wait. I haven't even said anything about your senses are basically an extension of your consciousness.
Then
so
I can feel it. I can touch
no,
it.
wait. Hear me out. Your consciousness is not your senses. They're distinct. But one
can't exist without the other one.
Hold on. You're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun. For example, you know that you have a brain. You know that you have.
I think so. I never.
That'll be problematic if you're talking to me without your brain. Okay.
Hopefully, I will never know exactly because it means that maybe I will be there.
By the way, that's another example of yours. What you believe without seeing.
Yeah. You should do like him. You know, he opened this skull and checked if he has a brain.
How do you know I did that?
Do that.
How do you know I did that?
Because I know you don't have one.
I have the organ.
You know,
I have the organ.
I don't know, Paulo probably got upset because I told him that he has no evidence for consciousness, and he didn't want to acknowledge it,
between
but he said yes.
prehistory and history yet?
Okay.
You still,
So
you still
anyway,
check
look,
it out?
I don't want to talk to you
You
because
still can see it.
you seem to be very upset that I've actually exposed you that you have no
very upset.
empirical evidence of consciousness, but you believe in it by faith. Yes. Similarly, if you can believe that you have consciousness without any empirical evidence, so why don't you believe God without empirical
But
evidence?
I think
Unless
there's
you have double
empirical
standards.
evidence of consciousness.
Was that? No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. Empirical evidence of consciousness doesn't exist. That is why the scientists out there, they call it the hard problem of consciousness. Yes? Because this is something they have to believe axiomatically. That means there is no way that they can actually just say, oh, it doesn't exist,
So
because
then-
they have to acknowledge it exists.
Then, what if I say that I just believe that you're here, that I can touch this, that this feels like something we call like rubber thing?
Yeah.
Then that I can see that these leaves are green.
Those are your senses.
How do you call that?
Yeah. So those are.
I believe in my senses.
Yeah, of course
and
you do.
What about if I'm feeling something now? I'm feeling nervous.
By the way, we have evidence
What
of
do you call
senses.
that?
Listen
What
to
do you
me.
call that?
Listen to me. We have evidence that your senses are there,
Yeah.
my senses are there, and we actually
Why?
hear me out. Hear me out. We experience the world from our senses. There's no doubt about that. However, the senses are actually connected to your consciousness, which enables you to use your senses.
Sorry, I got distracted by.
You don't want to be on the camera, yeah?
No, I prefer not because
Prefer not,
I always
okay.
say like today I say this, I think this, but maybe tomorrow I'm.
Fair enough. There's nothing wrong. We are in the process
I
of
don't
learning.
Like to be like
We all are in the process.
Anything.
We all are in the process of learning. There's nothing wrong with being wrong and correcting. As long as you acknowledge your mistake and you correct yourself, yes, then you're not arrogant. You're sincere. But once you recognize the truth and you still consistently somehow fight your own self, you're fooling yourself, nobody else. See what I mean? So when you see a truth, you acknowledge it. So for example, consciousness is the one that enables you to ask me questions, to use your faculties of reasoning, and also to use your senses. This is the key. So your consciousness is like the CPU of the computer.
As I'm doing it, it means that it's a proof that consciousness exists. If you
Yeah,
want to
you need
understand
to
consciousness.
distinguish
So
between
what
the
I'm
two,
saying-
between the senses and between consciousness. Senses are an extension. Your mind
Yeah.
is an extension of your consciousness. Your faculties of reasoning are an extension of your consciousness. But when I say consciousness, it's something that is immaterial, that no one can see under a
Then
microscope.
I just don't believe in consciousness because it's a word we put to something that
No, you
it
cannot
doesn't
say I don't. You
It
can.
doesn't exist. Like
If-
it's
when
like
you-
God.
yeah.
Consciousness is about it's like God.
Wait. When you say I don't believe in consciousness,
Exactly.
either means you don't know what
It's
consciousness
an
means.
extension of mind, but you see he
Exactly.
said it the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's an extension, so in a
Conscious-
way I can feel it, but it's
Your
something we call
consciousness
We don't-
is something no one denies. No scientist denies. No logical person denies, unless you don't know what it means.
From the thing you're telling me.
Yeah.
I believe that there's you're explaining it wrong actually because I'm seeing
Look up the definition of consciousness if you don't believe me. Look it up.
Yeah, Google it.
That's the best way to learn, you know.
Look at the definition.
If you don't believe me, go and learn it from
He
somebody
doesn't know
else.
what history means.
Okay?
That's yours. That's yours.
Prehistory. Come on, what, man?
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
I've been going for a while now.
We know it's hurt.
also my English level is not like that good.
Look up consciousness.
Yeah.
By the way, the reason it exists.
Because I want to say something.
So first thing that
What's the
appears.
purpose?
Yeah. Bro, just ignore him. Just ignore him.
That's pretty good.
So what is consciousness?
Yeah. What does it say?
Scientists are beginning to unravel a mystery that has long vexed philosophers.
Where are you looking?
Consciousness is everything you experience.
Yes.
So if I experience it,
Isn't that what I told you at the very beginning? The definition that if you are
but that's
aware
what
of
I'm
your
saying, that there's a proof. I experience it. So that's what I can say. If they say it's this, then yeah. Like,
Okay, let's make it easier
You
for
know
you.
what I mean?
There's a difference between something which we call empirical evidence, yes, where you have objective proof evidence, and subjective. So what you experience, can somebody else experience?
Yeah.
How? What you experience, can somebody else experience? The same way?
The same way.
Yes, no. So that's
But
called.
I don't know exactly.
No,
Maybe
but
yes.
that's called subjective. For example, I give you a very good example, which I normally use in this kind of scenarios. Imagine you and your friend are in a room.
Yeah.
Yes, your friend feels that the temperature is a bit cold.
Yeah.
Yes, you feel it's warm enough for you. Yes, you both are in the same room, but you both experience the temperature
But it's
in a
not
different
about
way.
Consciousness, about
No, hear me out.
physical.
If it wasn't
unique
consciousness,
things
you
of
wouldn't
the
feel the
body.
temperature. Trust me.
What?
If you were not
Yeah,
conscious,
feel the temperature. We're both doing it. We're feeling the temperature.
exactly. But that is called subjective
different
experience.
temperature.
The reason,
The temperature itself, like the cold or the warm, is another thing. But we're both.
why are you
the
experiencing different temperatures in the same room?
Because we have different bodies, different chemic stuff going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like. A
It's called subjective experience. So your experience is subject to you, and her experience is subject to her.
Because.
Hear me out. Actually, you're right. Your physiology is different
Exactly.
to hers. It might be one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Might be many other factors as well. But how can we determine objectively the temperature of the room? Objectively, not subjectively. So because you both are in the same room, you both have different experience depending on your makeup or some other factor.
But I think this.
How can we as a human
Yeah.
Empirically.
get the exact temperature of the room?
With with science. Like
Yes.
With a
Thermometer.
thermometer.
Is a thermometer
Exactly.
conscious?
A thermometer
Yeah.
gives us an objective
Objective.
measure of the room temperature. You know, that is the difference. Wait, I wanted to show you the difference between subjective and objective evidence. So we have evidence here. We use a tool called the thermometer.
Yeah.
Yes? The thermometer is a tool. Remember this, to get a reading for the temperature, because that's what it's made for. Yes? We use a specific tool. However, the scientists do not have a tool to know
Yeah.
your consciousness. For example, if you love do you have a pet?
The feeling.
Yeah, I do.
A cat or dog?
A dog.
A dog. Look, how would you know that you love your family more than your dog?
How would I know that I love my family more than my dog?
Yes.
How we know?
How would we know objectively? Because I know subjectively you probably know.
Yeah.
Inside you know whom you
know
love
who's
more.
better.
Yes?
Yeah.
But is there such a tool like the thermometer to measure the temperature? Is there such a tool which can measure the love, which is an emotion, which is, like you said, you experience from your senses?
Yeah, no, you can
And your
no, you
experience.
cannot like put it into anything. No,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You
So you cannot measure emotions.
To measure it, yeah.
Fair enough. You cannot measure emotions, which are always subjective, yes,
Yeah.
with a tool which the scientists can say, yes, now we have objective evidence of emotion. So your emotions cannot be measured by science.
Okay, but
You know why? Do you know why?
I'm not saying I'm just saying that I believe in that emotion because that's what.
No. I never said you don't believe in love. Of course you do. You believe in love, you believe in hate, you believe in even whether you're feeling cold or hot. These things are emotions. These things enable you. You have your abilities and faculties which allow you to feel these things.
So you're just asking me in what I believe, and I'm just
No.
saying that I believe.
No. What I'm trying to show you is that there are places where science fails. There are limits to science. So the science cannot measure immaterial things. Science it's what do you say? It analyzes the material world. Yes, the naturalistic world that we call. It doesn't measure things like your emotions, which again emanate from your consciousness. Yes, so everything is linked. Your consciousness is your central CPU as in a computer. You know, the microchip, the main thing which allows you, and it's connected to your mind, obviously. So what I'm saying is that science has limitations. There are certain things science cannot measure. So if anybody comes and tells me, show me empirical evidence of God, you cannot even show empirical evidence of within your own self,
yeah.
let alone God. Yes? So what is within you? What does Allah say in the Quran? That He will show you signs beyond the horizon and within yourself. Yes? And this is the beauty. One of the things in the Quran, Allah has already told you that you cannot even see things which are within yourself and have empirical evidence for it, or allow science. Doesn't matter, with all the technology, they'll fail. Because you see, science was never meant to measure immaterial world. And we cannot deny the immaterial world because we believe in
That's what
consciousness.
they call it metaphysics.
So that is what I'm trying to tell you.
Therefore, I don't deny it.
You don't deny what?
The
God's
existence of God.
Alhamdulillah, say the Shahada. Okay.
Very nice.
So what I'm saying is that there are limits to science and we need to acknowledge that. By the way, as a Muslim, we don't deny science. We know science explains things. However, it cannot explain certain things, like for example, the origin of the universe. It can speculate many things how it originated, but it can never tell you clearly with empirical evidence how the universe came into being.
That's what you need of
Yes, and if you want to call it fate, that's fine. But if you want to believe that it came from nothing, that is also unscientific
Yeah,
and
but
wrong.
then my question, for example, is like, okay, so then why do you believe? Because you read something? Because your parents told you? Because your environment? Maybe if you were born where I was born, you would not be a Muslim.
Where were you born?
In Spain.
There are lots of Muslims in Spain. Don't worry. There are lots of
environment-
Muslims in Spain, so your analogy is completely wrong. But anyway, you might have a point there, that there is obviously, if you're born in a Muslim family, you're most likely to be a Muslim. And if you're, alhamdulillah, where are you from, sister? From Northern Ireland. MashaAllah, you see?
Yeah.
So let's not use. The thing is,
But,
we as, by the way,
you see, like, a lot of
today,
people
by the way, today we live in a global village. They say, everything is connected today. So people, maybe all, you see these videos here, they will go far and wide. So people who are not at Speaker's Corner, earlier she didn't want to be. Anna, it's up to you. Now they know you. All right, she likes to be famous. That's fine. We'll make her famous.
Yes.
Make dua for Anna that Allah
Money,
gives her
money,
hidayah,
please, I need
inshallah.
money. It's very important for living.
If you want money, pray to the Creator. You never know where it comes from. So,
Pray to the person
by the way,
who
your
says
question
it
is
comes
good. Like,
from
why do you
the
believe it? Is it because I was born in a Muslim family? Maybe that's the reason. But I also use my own faculties that God has given me to reason and come to the conclusion that all this, the universe did not create itself. It did not come from nothing. So what is the other
You
alternative?
say that God
That the
gave
universe
them-
always existed, maybe.
There's no scientific evidence for that.
You said
Go on. This guy is a funny guy, honestly. Yeah?
I am a funny guy.
You are,
Very
yeah.
funny.
You need Fabul.
But anyway, your question was good. Why do you believe it? The question is this:
Fabul.
Where did the universe come from, according to your understanding? Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Have you thought about it? Okay, let's.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Okay.
And I don't have
Yeah.
any clue because it's like, I think, okay, the universe, right? And then after the universe, like what? I imagine like black, and then after the black, like black and black and black, and this black where?
You go in a
Why do
blackout?
we call it black even? Like, is it black?
All right. That
It's-
when you say black, you probably mean nothing, right?
Yeah, like, but this nothing is like in something. So actually,
Well, nothing
that
can't be
it's like,
something.
You know?
Nothing and
Black
something
is
are the two opposites.
And who created God? Like-
We'll come to that, no problem. But right now, we are not talking about God. We are just talking about the universe.
Okay.
Did the universe come from nothing? Is that even a possibility?
But this nothing is, to call it nothing, it's into something.
No,
I mean,
nothing and something are two opposites.
Then
It's not the
what
same.
is nothing?
Nothing is the absence of everything. Something is at least that.
The absence of everything
Yes.
is something already.
No.
It's nothing.
No.
Which is
Zero.
something.
Nothing, by the way.
The
It's
basic
zero.
law of transformation of matter.
By the way,
Nothing is created,
nothing-
nothing is destroyed,
She's got a mind herself.
everything is
Let her speak.
transformed.
Yeah, that's
but
in-
he won't let you do that.
That's in a
He'll
close.
try to-
If you knew that.
Close environment. That's in close environment.
If Paulo knew the first law of thermodynamics, he says in a closed system. It doesn't say before the universe existed.
go on.
So please don't tell me I don't know.
Go on.
Okay, so the question, by the way, I'm talking to her. You seem like a troll
Yeah, but
here.
you're talking
I don't
about
like to
me.
talk to troll because you
You're
interjected.
talking about me.
You
You're
interjected.
bringing me to the
You
conversation.
brought me in the
Now you're saying,
conversation
no,
as
I
well.
don't want to talk.
Anyway, you seem like a troll, so I'll ignore you.
Do
I
I?
think Sabur can handle you better. Yeah, he educated.
You
Sabur
can't
is
handle
another
anyone,
guy,
to
had
be
the-
fair.
By the way, he schooled you nicely last time.
Some guy.
Sure.
Some guy.
Okay, so nothing. Do you think nothing even exists, for example?
More respectful, to be
Could
honest.
nothing even be
You could learn.
By the way, you know what?
Maybe,
Respect.
maybe you could learn. from
Paulo,
your
I know you're stammering now, but respect is not demanded, it's earned. Yes.
Stammering.
Yes,
from
stammering.
you, from the likes of you.
Yes,
I
yes.
think you got something.
But don't
very,
expect
very
respect if you can't give it.
wrong.
Respect is always
I-
earned, never
Oh,
demanded.
no.
When he spoke respectfully, without
think
using
God
the kind of.
Why are you here,
words
by
that
the way, if you
using.
don't think I'm respectful
I'm
to you?
here to speak to you.
No, I don't want
and
to
to listen to what you have
If you're
to
going
say.
to, if you're going to
wait.
hackle,
Well, you brought me to the conversation.
did
You
I?
mentioned
Did I bring him to
just a while
conversation?
ago.
You're disrupting. the-
Okay, anyway,
Pointing the finger at
I might
me.
as well,
No,
I might as well speak to Anna than you. If I haven't made that clear, I'm making it clear now. All right. So once again, Anna, nothing does not exist. It's just a concept for us to communicate. The difference between something and nothing. For example, the term zero, the number zero, it could denote nothing.
Yeah, but when we are talking about nothing,
Absolute zero. Yeah.
what do you have in mind? Like what is?
It's a concept. It's a
doesn't
concept.
exist.
I don't need to visualize nothing. To me, visualizing nothing means I'm actually looking at something.
He's got
See what I
in
mean?
his pocket. What are you imagining?
Nothing is the absence
He
of
says he's got nothing
everything.
in his pocket.
Everything that you can imagine. Guys, come on.
But do we even know, like, is it possible?
No, nothing is a concept for us to communicate. It's a concept. For example, like, say for example, another example I can give you is infinity. Infinity is not a number. It is a concept of something that is unending. See what I mean? And zero is similarly a concept which means nothing.
The opposite.
Which means absolutely nothing. Which means absence of everything that you can imagine, everything that exists.
But
That's all it is.
so infinite is something that we actually didn't reach the end.
We will never reach. Others we will call infinite.
Okay, but then it's not. It might not be infinite, but we call it infinite.
No, it's a concept. It's an abstract. For example, the numbers that you use. Yes, you can
1, 2,
visualize
3,
them.
4, 5.
You can visualize them. They are something, but they call abstract. So there's a difference between nothing, abstract, and infinite.
Sorry, carry on with the universe.
Yeah. So going back. So because nothing doesn't exist, even we cannot say, and this is speaking logically, philosophically, even scientifically, because nothing doesn't exist, we cannot say that nothing brought about something like the universe.
Say that again. Sorry.
Nothing, because it doesn't even exist,
Yeah.
we can conclude that it cannot bring about something.
It cannot bring about
Something. Nothing cannot generate or give rise to something, because it doesn't even exist. Are you with me?
So nothing can bring.
Okay,
something.
let me rephrase that. If something doesn't exist,
Look at that
Yeah.
Christian
if
guy.
something doesn't even exist,
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
can it
Ask him.
bring into existence something, anything? Say this bottle, for example. By the way, the bottle's been quite handy today. You can use it for lots of examples.
Do you want some water?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So what I'm saying is that this is something, right? It's a bottle.
Yeah.
Can this come from something that doesn't even exist?
No.
Good. So imagine this was the universe. It cannot come from nothing.
From my point of like understanding.
Yes,
the
of course.
word.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it cannot come from nothing.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that we can actually say, yes, we can cross that out, that we have, we know that nothing cannot bring about anything. Something, where there's a universe, where there's even one atom, it cannot bring about that. So what is the other possibility? The other possibility is that the universe came into existence from something.
From something, but then it's the same. Like, and this something.
Yes.
What is it coming from?
Very good question.
And then this something. What is it
Yes.
coming from?
So
And this is like-
that's a very good question, and we need to explore that as well. So now we have something. This something needs to, in order for it to create the universe, it needs the ability to at least exist. It needs to exist first, and it has to be self-existent, and it has to be uncaused. Otherwise, we'll have a problem of infinite regress. Yeah? There's always troublemakers and trolls here. Let's ignore them. So, yeah, let's get back to the discussion. So what I'm saying is that in order for this something to bring into existence anything, it at least has to be uncreated. You know why? Uncreated.
uncreated.
Yes, that means it has to be self-existing.
It exists for always,
And it has to be eternal.
forever.
I'll tell you why. Because it is like the question you asked. If something created the universe, what created that something? Yes? And then who created that something? The one that brought into this something.
إن أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والاشتراك في القناة.